I always had a brush with the conventional system, conventional concepts. I didn't realize that until I started working in Bangladesh. I came back to Bangladesh when I was 32-years old. I was doing my PhD and teaching in the university in the US, and came back, and Bangladesh was in a very bad situation politically, economically. This was 1972. As a young man, I was very disturbed by the economic situation where I'm teaching economics, but people in the village next door to me, next door to the university campus where I teach, were extremely poor, and they were going through famine. It's a part of the famine which was kind of spreading all over the country. So I thought I'll just forget about the classroom economics and try to see if I can make myself useful to the people in the village next door. And that was the beginning. And I ran into a problem of loan sharking in the village because I saw how ugly that was, people kind of exploiting other people, poor people, by lending tiny little money. So while I was very frustrated the way it was happening, suddenly an idea came, why don't I lend the money myself? Then the problem for the people who will borrow from me will be over. So I don't have to write a book about it or write a research about it. All I have to do is to lend money from my own pocket. And that's what I did. And then it became very popular. With the rest of it is history. We created a bank out of it called Grameen Bank, or Village Bank, which lends money to the poor people, particularly poor women. People who never handled money in their life. These are the people who needed $20, $30 loan to start some business activity, to sell things, produce things, and so on, make a living out of it. So it grew in Bangladesh, became known as microcredit. The bank is Grameen Bank, and now it's a nationwide bank. It's every single village in Bangladesh we work. We have now 9 million borrowers. Most of them are women. 97% of the borrowers of Grameen Bank are women. How did I get into problem with the conventional system? Because when I went to the bank to make sure that they can now lend money from the bank instead of my pocket, because my pocket was getting empty because I'm lending out all my money. So I thought the only way I can continue, I can go to the bank, tell them, why don't you lend the money to the poor? And every bank said, no, it's impossible. You cannot lend money to poor people. I said, why not? Because they said they're not creditworthy. I said, what does it mean, creditworthy? I said, meaning that they won't be able to pay back. I said, how do you know that they will not be able to pay back? You have not done it. He said, no, we don't have to do it. We know already. I said, I'm doing it. They're paying back. So I know better than you. Because you have not done it and you say it can't be done. I'm doing it and it's done. So what is the problem? So that was my first brush with the conventional banking. I was very critical of the banking and still very critical of the banking. I said the banks are, originally the idea of banking was to lend money to the people. You take deposits and lend money. I said the banking system grew in a completely different way, which I think in the wrong way, because banks lend money to people who already have lots of money. And they don't lend money to people who don't have money. I said, this is very strange. They couldn't believe this. They just laughed at me. I said, no, this is very serious. And they have been telling me again and again, poor people are not creditworthy. Then I kind of tell them back. I said, should you tell people that whether they are creditworthy or not? Or the people should tell you whether you are people-worthy or not? Banks are not people-worthy. I said, that's your problem. That continues, that controversy that I created continued, and I keep on focusing on that. I'm saying that more than half the population of the entire world are deprived from the banking services, even today. So what kind of banking is that? Anyway, banking system still remains the way it is. I continue to do the work I do. How did I get into it? I think basic thing that helped me was I never studied banking. I didn't know anything about banking. So I did whatever I thought is necessary to be done. And I think that was the best thing that happened. If I had studied banking, I would have followed all the rules of banking, because my mind was already been drilled that this is how banking is. My mind was free. I could do anything I want, and it happened because of that. So I tell the young people, many of you are here, young people, I said, don't always follow the rules. If you follow the rules, you'll go to the same destination where you've always been. If you want to go to someplace else, you have to make up your own rules. And Grameen Bank is an example. And defiance, defy things. If you follow things, it will not get you anywhere, except repetition of what you are doing. Defiance is the key to discover things, do things differently. If you get stuck with the rules, you'll never get out of it. So that will be my kind of take for you, that this would be something that you can figure it out. That defiance, you have to be very defiant of the rules, the system that you are in. Today, not only we do that, people ask me, how do we design this Grameen Bank? After all, you created a whole bank. Today, bank has 9 million borrowers in Bangladesh. And it's not a small bank. It works every single village in Bangladesh. How do you decide to do that? How do you make the rules? I said again, since I didn't know anything about banking, whenever I needed a rule or a procedure, I look at the conventional banks, how they work it. Once I find out how they work it, I just do the opposite. And it worked. They go to the rich, I go to the poor. They go to men, I go to women. They go to the city center, I go to the village. They want collateral, I forget about collateral. The entire banking we do, there is no collateral. There is no lawyer in our bank. We are the only bank in the world which is lawyer-free. But still it works. Now we lend out over $1.5 billion a year with no papers. All this money come back. Grameen Bank, which became known as microcredit all over the world, microfinance all over the world, is known as very high repayment. Even if we don't have papers, but still repayment is very good. And people move from one level of living to the next level of living and so on. Then it's spread in many countries. Most fascinating one is in the United States. We were challenged to do it in the United States. They said it will never happen. You cannot do it in the United States. A very different country. People are very different. They are very independent. They don't care about your rules or anything. I said, wow. I said, I'll take the job. Give me the chance. So I started a Grameen program in the United States in 2008. It started with one branch in New York City, in Jackson Heights, New York City. So we started it exactly copying what we have done in the villages of Bangladesh, exactly the same thing in the village of Bangladesh, in the city of New York, and became a beautiful branch. Now we have 19 branches in the United States. 8 branches are New York City and many other branches in 11 other cities. So today there are 19 branches. Gradually started in 2008 with one branch and now 19. We have over 85,000 borrowers, 100% women. Last month, we crossed $500 million in loans to all these 85,000 borrowers. Repayment rate in the 8 years of our work never went below 99.5%. That's it. No document, no lawyers, no collateral, nothing. Out of these 85,000 women, more than half of them are undocumented women, meaning they have no document to show who they are. We don't mind. We are not dealing with documents. We are dealing with human beings. And they deal with us, we deal with them. With $500 million, we were never mistaken by doing that. So this is the idea of microcredit that is spread on, my struggle with the banking system. I say sometimes I'm introduced as I come to an audience like this, I'm introduced, he's a banker to the poor. I said, I don't like that because of one reason, not because I'm not a banker to the poor, I am, I'm very proud of that. But if a banker is here and you are introducing a banker who comes from a conventional bank, probably you'll say he's a very successful banker, he's a leader of the banking and so on and so forth. I said, if you call him a banker, if you call me banker to the poor, I don't think it will be the right thing to do. Because if I'm a banker to the poor, he should be introduced as a banker to the rich. I don't lend money to rich, so okay, I'm banker to the poor. He doesn't lend money to poor, so he lends money only to the rich. So you should say that. But you don't say that. I think that's the wrong thing. You hide things. You call it a bank, but you lend money to only a segment of population. Only the luckiest segment of the population, not the other part. So I need to have a bank which can go across from the poorest to the richest. We lend money to the beggars. We have no problem. We lend money to the beggars. We tell them, as you go from house to house begging, would you carry some merchandise with you? Some cookies, some candies, some toys for the kids, and make them feel good, because we tell them that you are going to the houses anyway. So this is not extra work for you. They like the idea. They borrow from Grameen Bank. We gave them loans. How much loan they take? $10, $12, $15. That's about the loan they need. We give them. We ended up with 200,000 beggars in that program. Each one was doing an excellent job. Within 2 years, more than half of these beggars stopped begging completely because they became successful door-to-door salesperson. If you can find out, even beggars can become entrepreneurs. What kind of system we have, you don't want to encourage them to do. So I come into the brush with another thing, entrepreneurship. This is now 40 years of Grameen Bank. I started in 1976. With 9 million borrowers, there are a lot of children who grew up in the Grameen families. These are extremely poor women, but illiterate. We wanted to make sure their children don't repeat the same fate as their mothers and the fathers. So we made sure all the children of Grameen families go to school. We guaranteed it, 100% goes to school. Now they have graduated from high school, graduated from college, graduated from universities, they have degrees, master's degrees, all kinds of things. They have PhDs, they are college professors now. Many of them complain to me, there is no job in Bangladesh. We give education and everything, but there's no job. I thought about that. What is the solution? Then I started telling them, as they come and complain to me, there's no job, I kind of asked them a sharp question. Who asked you to have a job? Did your teacher tell you to have a job? Did your book tell you to have a job? They get very puzzled. And I tell them, forget about jobs. This is a very old-fashioned idea, very absurd idea. This should have ended in the last century, but somehow it stayed on. I said, you tell yourself that I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator. That's what I am. I said, you are an entrepreneur. Why are you looking for a job? That became a big issue for me. I started talking about entrepreneurship, and I maintained a position contrary to the conventional position. This is my way of looking at it. I say all human beings are entrepreneurs, with no exception. If you show me something, somebody said, oh no, he's not interested at all in entrepreneurship, I will still say inside of him or inside of her, he or she is an entrepreneur. But the society has put so much problem around her or problem around him, he or she doesn't want to discover the ability of being entrepreneur. I said, given opportunity, you will become entrepreneur. I give the examples of the poor women, illiterate women in Bangladesh. I said, they never ever thought they will be able to do business. But when we created the bank, we said, here's the money. If you have an idea, take the money and start the business. Today, 9 million of them do that. And it's only in Bangladesh. Globally, you'll be 170 million of them are doing that. I say it's a question of giving the opportunity. With this kind of financial system, you'll never get there. So I tell all the people should be entrepreneur. I tell human beings are not born to work for somebody else. That's my position. I said, when we were in this planet, when we came to this planet a million years back, and continued in this planet all these years, we were not looking for jobs. We came to the planet and say, where's my job? We didn't do that. We went ahead, did things to overcome our obstacles, and we survived. When we were in the caves, we are not sending job application from cave number 5 to cave number 10. Do you have a job for me? We did not. We are go-getters. We are problem solvers. That's where we are. But somehow, in recent centuries, people came up with the idea that you have to work for somebody. So everything is job-oriented. Our education institutions are devoted to preparing our students, our young people, to be able to take jobs, as if job is the ultimate of human life. I tell you, job is not the ultimate of human life. Job is a sacrifice of your creative power. Sometimes I tell the young people in Bangladesh, I say, why do you want to have a job? Job is the end of creativity. When you start a job, you start at the bottom of whatever office, whatever company you're joined. You don't start at the middle or you don't start at the top. When you start at the bottom, your tiny little boss oversees you. You don't see the big boss yet. Big boss is too far away. So your tiny little boss shapes you according to the need of the company. Do not care less what you have, what other creative power you have. So they curtail all the creative activity just to finish you off as a little robots who can fit into that machine. I said, that's not an exciting prospect of a human being. Human being has unlimited creative power. That's what they do. That's why we are born here. But somehow we are disoriented. We put it in the wrong direction to work for other people. I said, every single person can become an entrepreneur. Imagine what kind of economy we'll have. Very exciting economy. Everybody coming out with a new idea, everybody coming out with producing something, services, products, and so on and so forth. So there's no reason to be at anybody's service. So I talk about creating. For me, I said, for young people particularly, I invite them to have a destination of their life. If you don't have destination of your life, you are completely lost in this world. Job is not a destination. Job doesn't take you to a destination. You decide what is your destination, what is the purpose of your life on this planet. And then work for it, whatever the purpose is. I try to come up with my purpose, my destination. I put it in terms of 3 zeros. Zero number 1, zero poverty. I want to see how to make the world come to that stage when poverty will be zero. I'm very happy The Millennium Development Goal brought those goal number 1, reducing poverty by half by 2015. And we are very happy in Bangladesh. We brought that poverty to half the distance, reducing it by half by 2013, June of 2013. So 2.5 years before the terminal date of 2015. So we came there. So now we can calculate when we will reach the zero poverty in Bangladesh. Definitely it will be before 2030. So we can do that. And I keep saying, once we have that goal achieved, zero poverty achieved everywhere, we create poverty museum. So the next generation, others can go and visit those poverty museums to see how poverty used to be like. It's not the fault of the people who were poor, it's fault of the system that we created, and nobody bothered about it. They are merrily moving on with that system. That's what the poverty is. Poverty is not in the poor people. Seed of poverty is in the system that we built. So poverty is artificially imposed on human beings. It's not natural to the poor people to become poor people. So if we agree on that, then we have to address the system. The system is wrong. System is kind of creating environment where all the money, all the wealth goes to few hands. If you notice, 1% of the total population of the planet, 1% of the total population of the planet own 99% of the wealth of the entire world. What in the world is that? We are told that 62 people in the world, 62, just 62 people in the world have more wealth than the bottom half of the entire population of the world. And worst part of it, it's getting worse and worse. Lesser and lesser people have more and more wealth, and more people have lesser and lesser wealth. This world is not sustainable. So that's why we have to go ahead with the changing of the system that we have right now, because sooner or later, this time bomb that we have, the ticking time bomb, extreme wealth concentration will explode. Before even it explodes, it will get into our politics, it will get into our social aspects. People will be very angry because they see it is not fair, that we work hard but we don't get anything. People don't work, they get everything. That is not something we can push so to the limit. So we have to address this issue. So the zero number 1 is zero poverty, and zero number 2, zero unemployment. I believe that unemployment is an artificial concept, wrongly conceived. It was not the natural concept for human beings. Human beings are not born, as I said, to work for somebody else. We are entrepreneurs. Given opportunity, we become entrepreneurs. So how did we do with the young people in Bangladesh, whom I'm telling them, all these millions of young people in Bangladesh in the Grameen family, not everybody else, the children of the poor families. Tell them that we are not job seekers, we are job creators. Then what do? Just listen to that and stay there? No. We created what we call social business fund. By the way, we created a lot of social businesses. I didn't want to enter into details about that. But social business is a non-dividend company to solve the human problems. This is another brush I have with the conventional system. I said in the conventional system, all businesses are running to make money, maximize profit. And that's why the whole world become money-centric world. They have no time to worry about anything else. So we pile up problems, because nobody has time to look for the problems that we have. So we created another version of the business, which is not easily looked at by the conventional people in the business. The business that we created, we call them social business, is a non-dividend company to solve human problems. So I create a business to solve problems, not for making money. In social business, owner doesn't take any profit out of the business, because this business he has dedicated to solve human problems. He can take back all the investment that he made, but nothing more than that. I said, isn't that better than the charity? Because charity is a great idea. It goes out, does a wonderful work, but the money doesn't come back. We took the objective of charity and put a business engine behind it. So that the money that goes through the social business, it does the good work and it comes back. So you can use the money again and again. And I keep reminding, charity money has one life, but social business money has endless life. It never stops. So you get a lot more. So it's up to you whether you want to go it as charity or you do it as a social business. We created hospitals as a social business. We created energy company, solar energy company as a social business. We created education as a social business. We created vocational training in social business. The idea of social business now is spreading in many, many countries. Many big companies are coming forward to create social business with us as a joint venture. So coming back to what we did as social business fund in Bangladesh. So the young people come up with business idea and we become investor in their business. And we say, this is equity, this is not a loan I'm giving you, this is equity. We become a partner in your business. It's a tiny little business. It's a $10,000 business, $15,000 business, but it's a business. So we provide you this $15,000 and we own this share. You put 1%, but we put rest, 99%. So we are a partner. You run it, you are a business, you are an operating partner, I am the financing partner. And you make it successful. If you're successful, you return the money that I gave you. And your job is done. You 100% own the company. We are a social business, we are not interested in making profit out of it. We are interested in putting you on the orbit so that you can fly now. You don't have to worry about it. In the beginning, response was slow. Only 10 young people will come with a business plan. 20 young people will come with business plan. Now, we have more than 1,000 young people coming with business plan getting funded every month. So we have more than 10,000 young people running businesses already. And every year, the flow is becoming bigger and bigger, and they're doing pretty good. So I said, why should you be looking for a job? You are your own boss. You run your own business. Move from one business to other business. We'll be there to finance you. Financing is the problem. So now that idea is spreading other countries. Even in Europe, there is unemployment. Spain has almost 48% young people unemployed. Italy has 40% young people unemployed. I said, why should young people sit around? You cannot accept the fact that energetic young people sit there doing nothing. Because their mind has been drilled that you have to find a job. As if you don't find a job, you are a paralyzed person. You can't do anything. I said, human beings never sit idle. They're active as ever. So all we have to do is to organize the thing. So the second zero is zero unemployment. Third zero, zero net carbon emission. So with these three zeros, we can now push ourselves together to bring zero poverty, zero unemployment, and zero net carbon emission. How should we do that? How can we achieve those? I mentioned 3 mega powers to make it happen. Number 1 mega power is the young people. If young people put it in their mind, they will make it happen. Instead of getting confused about what I might do, what kind of job I do, forget about it. This is my job, this is what I'm going to do. As a human being, I have enormous creative power, I come up with that. So the youth is the number 1 power. Second power is technology. We develop technology to make these 3 things happen, 3 zeros happen. And we are good at developing technologies, and young people are very good in developing technologies. You don't have to go to the technology developer who makes the technology for making money. We do the technology to solving problems, not making money. There's a great distance between making money and solving problems. And third power is social business. Once you bring the social business power into the business world, this combination, youth, technology, and social business, transform the entire world. We move from the civilization which is based on greed to a new civilization based on human values and fraternal feeling. Thank you very much. Thank you.